Last night, ladies and gentlemen, John Cena, legendary competitor, one of the all time greatest. Everybody has him on their Mount Rushmore. Announced his retirement from in ring action will take place at WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas. So, with that being said, it is time that we look into it and say who are the top 10 best people for John Cena's last match. The last time is now. His last time tour is going on. And who do we want to see John Cena fight in his last ever match? So I sat down, I thought of a few names. I have a few reasons as to why for each name, and I'm going to go through my top 10 and break down to you why I think they should be John Cena's last match. So we have to start off with number 10. And this one is because we kind of seen Cena interact with this guy before. And I think maybe instead of just going out with the old guns like, oh yeah, have John Cena go out with a bunch of people he feuded his whole career with. Let's give him someone younger. Let's give him Grayson Waller. Now, we saw John Cena on the Grayson Waller effect. Grayson Waller even tweeted out last night with a picture of him and John in the ring. We've seen them do a little bit before, Grayson Waller taking an AA. But why not have Cena and Grayson Waller fight one more time? I mean, it's clear that WWE likes Grayson Waller. It's clear that him and Cena have that working relationship where they've worked before. It wouldn't be a bad match by any means, and it would help Grayson Waller out incredibly going forward in his career. So with that being said, it wouldn't be a bad final match for John if you want John to lose, because John has to lose this match. Like, you can't have Grayson Waller look tough and then lose to John Cena. We're trying to get Grayson to superstar level, and this would be the last catalyst to throw him up there. I mean, imagine the next night on Raw when he comes out. Unless he's still on SmackDown at the time, then that next SmackDown. But whenever, imagine him coming out and saying, I retired John Cena, I gave him the Grayson Waller rub right back to Hollywood. That would be a fun exit for Cena, I'm sure. It would give Grayson a lot of potential for the future. Overall, it's not that bad of an idea or a match if you're looking for Cena to go out putting younger talent over, which I don't think he should do. But if you do want him to, I think Grayson Waller is a great competitor, and definitely in this last run, we need to see Cena and Waller at least once. Another person I think, and a little bit opposite of Waller, someone who's been wrestling since 2000, and we have seen fought John Cena at a pay-per-view before for the WWE Championship, R-Truth. Now, I think R-Truth is a good one for number 9 because we see him use Cena's moves. Cena's his childhood hero. They could play up that whole storyline of my childhood hero's leaving, let me get one match against him. And Cena kind of being like, Truth, we fought before. We had a great match at Capital Punishment. Let's go again. Make Truth a little bit more serious. It wouldn't be a bad matchup for R-Truth in any means to get this one last shot at John and just to kind of see that match that we saw again in 2011 in the modern day. They're both very good still. I think they could both put on a great match, and the storyline's already built in, which is exactly what we need it to be. I mean, of course, at this point, Cena would have to win, but who cares about that? It would still be a great match for the time that we would get to see it. Now, for our next person, I thought about it, and I thought, he seems good. I want him on this list. I didn't know where to put him, though. And so I figured that the number 8 spot would work the best for him, and that's LA Knight. Now, this match would be good. I think LA can lose. I don't think he should lose another WrestleMania match for a while. I think we need to give him a big WrestleMania win. But if we were to have LA Knight wrestle John Cena at WrestleMania in his final match, the promos would be legendary. The matchup itself would be pretty good. I don't hate the idea of John Cena and LA Knight by any means. I think you could do it and have some success. We've seen them in the ring together before, and we've seen them kind of give a stare down. So kind of teasing it, that long-term storytelling that we know WWE likes to do would come into play. Plus, I think it'd be a fun match just in general. I would love to see the promos. I would love to see the build-up, and I think that WWE, if done right, could give Cena a really great feud on his way out the door. Now, next up, I want to still stay younger, and that's because I'm putting Braun Breaker on this list. Now, this is very similar to Waller, and if you have Braun versus John at WrestleMania, Braun Breaker has to win. He has to destroy John Cena. We need Cena to have the matchup that we know he can, where he gets beat down. Then all of a sudden, Cena's up, and he comes back. 5 moves of doom. He's getting ready to break out that golden shovel one last time, and then a spear. And then you see Braun just go crazy, destroying John Cena. We see Braun break him in half, absolutely obliterate John. Make Braun out to be this man that can take down a 16-time world champion, a future guaranteed Hall of Famer, the guy who everyone calls on the Mount Rushmore, one of the greatest of all time. And Braun destroys him? That would do so much for Braun, that you've now made him into this global phenomenon superstar that could take anybody in the company and beat them. Even if he did just lose to Sami Zayn, he looks strong again. I like it. I don't like that I want Cena to lose his last match if it's this one, but it would help out Braun incredibly going forward. Next up, Seth Rollins. I think Seth and John, their chemistry is great. We've seen them before. They've had some overlap in their careers, not a lot. Seth, he's kind of run down from his body and injuries now. John, very similar. They both know how it is to be the top dog in the company, to be the workhorse of the company. And that could be the storyline that we build up here of Seth saying, John, when you were gone, I was here working. You went to Hollywood, which you promised these fans you would never do. And now you come back expecting them to just love you because you say, this is my last one and I'm done. We hear that all the time, John. And you could have Cena trying to stay the moral compass, but maybe taking a darker side. And you can't hate that if it is. Cena with a darker side, that's amazing. We've always wanted to see a heel turn John Cena. And this is one way we could get it, for him to leave in his Hollywood John Cena era. And Seth, he was the face, and you could have him lose to John. And it wouldn't hurt Seth any. Seth is a main eventer no matter what. That's why this match works, is because Seth loses, his placement on the card doesn't shift. Seth wins, his placement on the card doesn't shift. It's amazing. Plus, could you imagine taking and getting to see John Cena get curb stomped at WrestleMania? I know we only break that out for special occasions, but that's a special occasion. We've seen Seth and Randy before. We've seen Seth Rollins face these stars of old. He uses the pedigree. So it would be great to see it, and it could kind of be reminiscent of some old John Cena matches. But again, I have him in the lower half. He's about number 5. I think he is number 5. He's number 6. But that's fine. I think while he's good, I have better. How about The Miz? Now, I know what you're thinking. Why? Miz has beat John Cena at WrestleMania before. Miz and Cena have a history together. They had an incredible feud for the WWE Championship. We've seen them do so much together over their respective careers. And I do think that if we have Cena leave, we need him to go in his last match against a historic rival one last time. Give us that one last matchup. And The Miz fits the bill. Similar to R-Truth, like I said, they fought before a title before. They were the main event of WrestleMania. Now, that did get interrupted by The Rock, but it still was a good match. And The Miz did win. And maybe Cena just wants to get that one last lick back at him. And of course, Cena could win this match, and it doesn't hurt. The Miz has lost to Cena so many times before. Cena's lost to The Miz before. It makes sense, and it works for both competitors. We could turn Miz back heel instantly, and Miz is a great heel. and you could just kind of feel like you're back in 2010 for a little bit. And that's not a bad thing. I think with John retiring, we have to go and make it so that it feels old school. We need that classic vintage feel. We want to play on the emotions of nostalgia. Speaking of the emotions of nostalgia, I think we do once in a lifetime, 3 times over. They're 1-1 at WrestleMania. Give me the final to The Rock and John Cena. Now, I know that means we push Rock and Roman back another year. Rock may not like that, but this is John's last year. You're 1-1 against him at Mania. What better than to see this one last time? We know The Rock can still do it. We just saw him at WrestleMania. This final boss character versus the greatest of all time, John Cena. My goodness, the storyline writes itself, guys. We have it perfectly in the bag. Super Cena versus the final boss. And you could even have him called Super Cena at that point. And the greatest part, Rock loses to Cena. That has to happen. You send Cena out on his victory. You have him take down The Rock. And we're now crossing some more terms here and then talking because their promos could also revolve around Hollywood. Cena and Rock could be dropping movie lines and show lines. You could even have Cena say, Rock, I know you've tried with Black Adam, but my Peacemaker was way better. You could do so much. I doubt that would ever happen, but if it would, that'd be great. As we know, Black Adam stunk, and Peacemaker didn't. So just kind of hearing like Cena get to call out The Rock for that, and some other Hollywood things, like The Rock plays the same character in every movie. Meanwhile, Ricky Stenicki over here is doing completely different stuff. I think it'd be great, and I would like to see it. I don't think this is the match we get by any means. I do think we get Rock and Roman. I don't think we get Roman and Cody. I know that's kind of a rumor too, or Rock and Cody. I don't think we get that because of the whole bloodline thing going on with Solo. So we can leave all that behind us. Let's just focus on Cena. Get Cena his last match against The Rock and see if it can work. But if that doesn't go through, someone else we could have. Cody Rhodes. We know Cody wants to face John. Cody has asked John for a match. We saw it on live TV, and John was kind of like, oh, this is a one-time thing. I don't got much more in me. But they would be a great matchup. I mean, the current face versus the old face, the passing of the torch. It would be Hogan Rock reminiscent. It would be Rock and Cena reminiscent. We would get to play on these emotions. We would see a former member of Legacy trying to defend his legacy against the former face of the company. You got to think, when Cena was at his prime, Cody was wearing a mask and was the dashing one or the undashing one, rocking that sweet stash. Can we see this Homelander version of Cody going against Cena? And Cody doesn't need a belt for it either. Have Cody drop the belt. Who cares? Cody doesn't need the championship for this. This is a storyline in itself. Or keep the belt. Have Cena challenge for the WWE Championship and break Flair's record. I'm fine with either or. And I think that a lot of people would be. Plus, could you imagine seeing Cena just get to AA Cody Rhodes or take a Crossroads, and we can see the Cody Cutter. I know Cena, he used to do at the end he was starting to do some new moves, and we might be able to see some more of these new moves. I think it'd be a cool matchup. Now, the next two, my top two matchups that I want to see Cody, or I want to see Cena's last matches. I don't care which one we get, but I think we need one of these two. And I did rank them in the order I'd want them. So at number 2, I think we have to do it. We didn't think he would ever return. But give me Punk and Cena. I mean, they're so controversial and so perfect. They've had classic matches, a classic rivalry, and to just kind of see it. Because if you would have told me 5 years ago, John Cena retires at WrestleMania 41, and his last match is against CM Punk, I would say you're crazy. Punk's never coming back to WWE, and John Cena's never retiring. But then when I get here, I'll be like, oh, wow, you're right. Cena and Punk is the last ever match for John Cena. And it's not bad. We could get the promos again. Maybe a pipe bomb, too. We could see Cena trying to defend the company one last time from CM Punk. He hears what Drew is saying. He understands what Drew is going through. Drew McIntyre and Punk, they put their feud aside at around Royal Rumble when Cena is fighting Punk. And then we see it go till WrestleMania. One last feud. One last time. The voice of the voiceless versus the face that runs the place. Hustle, loyalty, respect versus it's clobbering time. I love it. We can see John Cena get the GTS done to him, the Anaconda Vice. We could see Cena hit the STF and the AA and all of these other moves that we haven't seen in so long on these two legends that we've seen them done before. But that's not my number one match. Because my number one matchup that I want to see John Cena face in his last ever match is a man he came in the company with. Now, Brock, he's gone. Randy is still here. Now, the Randy Orton John Cena rivalry was a lot of people's childhood. If you ask people what matchups they saw the most growing up, they're going to say Randy Orton versus John Cena, the Viper versus Cena, the man who hits the Punk kick versus the man who's going to give you an attitude adjustment. And just one last time, let's see it. Now, we know Randy's in the twilight of his career. I think Randy's got another year in him. But maybe Randy doesn't think so. Randy Orton might be getting tired. We don't know how Randy's thinking. He's at the top of his game right now, but he's getting older. His body's getting hurt. So how better than Randy Orton saying, hey, I want to retire John Cena, but I'm retiring myself. Now Cena doesn't have to win. If you have it be a retirement match, both men say, this is my last one. This is my last show. This is WrestleMania night main event for night one. I mean, career versus career, Randy Orton and John Cena one last time. It would be amazing to see. I mean, I think everybody would watch it and cry, especially as we see the last 3 count. And who wins that? I don't know. If they're both retiring, who wins? I'm sure we see an AA into an RKO. I mean, that's a very classic reversal right there. That's amazing. Maybe we see Randy Orton hit an attitude adjustment and John Cena hit an RKO similar to when Austin and Rock did each other's finishers. It would feel like an Austin Rock classic one last time with Randy and John. Now, I did just give my top 10, and I want to know if you guys agree or disagree, how you guys would book them, what order you guys would put them in. Would you get rid of Grayson Waller for someone else like Kevin Owens? That could be a good matchup. And we again see that that's a past feud that could get brought back to life. Or do you think that the way I have it is what's best? One thing that we do know, though, is John Cena is in the last run of his life in the WWE. And we do know that we don't have many more moments with him. But it's not a thing that we should look back on and be sad about. I think we got to look back and be happy about it. See, John Cena, for me at least, was the guy when I got into wrestling. My earliest memory is WrestleMania, where he came out at 25 with all the John Cena saying, you can't see me, and he ran down and then double AA'd Big Show and Edge. Now, I know I was watching before that, but I don't remember it. I can remember John Cena's career moments because they were so important and vital to me growing up that I want his last moment to be huge. I think it's got to be something that shows the younger generation why our generation loves John so much. Why, for us, this retirement means so much. This is so upsetting. I mean, it hit me like a ton of bricks when I heard it last night. When John said he was retiring, I didn't even think we were going to get a last match. I thought he meant he was just done. And then when he said he would have one last match, I was happy. I kind of want to see everyone on this list at least get one match up against John. I don't know if we have the time for it, but I hope we do. And yeah, I mean, overall, John Cena's going to do great. And after that, once his last time is over, we won't be able to see him anymore in WWE. Now, I do know he's going to be out in the WWE for 2025. He's not wrestling after WrestleMania, but he'll still be involved in some capacity. I think that means maybe a GM role, hopefully, or something where we can still hear him talk, because he is a killer on the mic. But again, comment down below who you guys want to see John Cena's last match against, how you guys feel about the news. And if you like the video, hit like, subscribe, just so I know to do more of this kind of content. And until next time, guys, have a wonderful day.